I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Skype edition of the SmackDown After Show. We got a full crew here once again today. I'm Josh Tariff, hanging out. Because I like we're all across the country right now this week, guys. First off, in his secret lair where he builds fancy rings, it's Tom Connolly.
Hello, I'm here. Call the baby room.
Yeah. Then over in the Alexa Bliss shrine, it is Bryan Santos.
Hello, Alexa had an amazing promo this episode. Excited to talk about it.
And chilling with us down on the opposite end of the country, because it doesn't matter where she might be, she's hanging out with us. It's Gabby the Ram.
Yes, I am in Florida, but not working for WWE still. Cheers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure right now they're hiring. So
I mean, if they could use a few extra hands on set, I know they're keeping it to a minimal staff over there. I'm here and ready to go. I'm only an hour and a half away. Call me.
Well, and they may, because news broke not long after our show last week. We were talking about when is WrestleMania gonna be postponed or canceled or moved or whatever it may be. It gets announced it's being moved into the Performance Center, and it's too big for one night, as they are stating. So Mania will be for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. Do we like this? Tom, I know you're going to laugh about it because you and I had long discussions a couple years ago about how WWE should create a 2-day WrestleMania event.
Yeah, I mean, I got 2 words for WWE. You're welcome. We brought it up on this show many times as well in the past. Especially, some of us have been to many WrestleManias and have sat there for hours upon hours just waiting. And, last year going into a second day already.
Oh, yeah.
The main event is past midnight. I think at least for them, it's a good, let's test it and see what happens. It's not like they're worried about people not being there. So it's not like they're trying to get in a big arena for 2 nights. I think it's a good idea. I think it's good because it gives people an extra night of, getting a few hours away from, what's happening in the world. Let's escape for a little bit and, let's hope we get some really good matches.
Brian, what about you?
I definitely agree, and I just like the fact that everyone's going to definitely get more time, especially we had these storylines that we've been building for a couple months. I mean, some that we've just been building for the last yesterday, but I'm excited to see how those play out. They all get a little bit more time for their matches and for all of them to kind of shine, so I'm excited to see how it goes.
Gabby,
Yeah.
2 days of Mania.
I have to say, I think that it makes sense. It's a good move on WWE's part, because if you cram that all into one night with no live audience, how are you going to keep everyone's attention? I think it's best to split it apart so we can see it in digestible amounts and it's not overwhelming in this empty arena, even though they are doing a good job. It's just the biggest event of the year. So how are you going to keep us entertained that long,
Definitely. And like we're saying, because this is going to give opportunity for some other matches that maybe best would have been on the kickoff, but now they're actually going to get like a legit amount of time for a match. Hopefully they can entertain us during that. And that kind of coincides with how the show opens this week with Michael Cole getting ready to introduce the host of this year's WrestleMania, Rob Gronkowski. However, Mojo shows up and he does a much better introduction, a much more hyped introduction than Michael Cole. By the way, are we just forgetting the last year and a half of Mojo Rawley?
Yes.
He just backed out. Is that what's happening? And he happens to be on SmackDown now?
I think he was. I think we're just going with he was never drafted to Raw. He just stayed on SmackDown this whole time, and we just haven't seen him.
And he never had the face painting. Was never looking in the broken mirror. We're just forgetting all of that happened.
Well, here's the thing. I think also he lives in Florida, in Orlando. He is best friends with Rob. So right now it makes sense for the storyline. And he's local, so it's easy for WWE to just grab him, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense. Like, I'm not like, oh yeah, he's buddies with Gronk, and all that makes sense. It's just funny. It's just like, oh yeah, you're just gonna be on SmackDown, and you're gonna do the gimmick that you started doing 4 years ago again. Meanwhile, Gronk just dances his way to the ring very awkwardly. He made me feel like a really good dancer the way he danced. And his hyping up gimmick, I felt, was he was doing Mojo better than Mojo. Because he is like, oh, he actually cut a decent hype up promo for Gronk. I was kind of pleased with it. Mojo mentioned he's there to watch Gronk. Interrupted by King Corbin, where I do believe we called that as well, with Corbin to be around Gronk. Corbin mentioned, I'm bigger, stronger, and if you want to have a good time as host, then fall in line. They're interrupted by Elias. Elias tries to sing, and they have the classic celebrity move where the celebrity pushes the wrestler while the other wrestler is down on all fours, so he falls over. Every time there's a celebrity get in the face of a wrestler, they do this spot. Can't we do anything else besides this?
No, you have to be safe. You have to at least see if they can at least push someone over.
Gronk just shoulder tackled Jinder Mahal like 3 years ago.
Why couldn't we have a shoulder tackle?
You gotta. Well, let's wait for it. It's a slow build. Let's see.
Yeah.
I mean, are we just all waiting for Mojo to just turn on Gronk, right?
Of course.
I think that'll be his first match, right? On his way to like having like a bigger match.
I would like his first match to be against Corbin, and Mojo costs him the match, so he loses his debut.
Okay. I like that idea.
Because as much as a lot of people don't like Corbin, Corbin really needs a win at this point.
Seriously.
That's what Elias is for, though.
Yeah, well, and they announced that it will be Elias versus Corbin, like we were saying, matches that will get time. This was probably going to maybe at best be a kickoff match, but they're probably going to get 15 minutes on one of those two nights now.
So you all would agree that Corbin is going to win in your predictions?
Well, against Elias, not necessarily. I'm saying if he wrestles Gronk, I think thanks to Mojo, Corbin might win that. But Corbin's got to do something quick.
Seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see him winning over if they're, with the match at Mania too. I just think Corbin is definitely still has to stay up at that top ranking somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very hot and cold. I mean, he retired Kurt Angle at WrestleMania, and then now is working Elias. So
he beat Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. He won King of the Ring. He had a long feud with Roman Reigns, and now what?
I agree. Now what
Shipping
is
over
right?
Mojo Rawley.
Yeah, I think, but the Corbin's gimmick is really hard to get over with no crowd, though. Like watching it at home.
Oh yeah,
because at least like he can yell at the audience and stuff. Like, it's real. I think everyone is very hard to watch when it's very quiet. Like, I think if anything for WrestleMania, they need to pump in some crowd noise at least.
You know what? I'm surprised they haven't done that already. That's the one thing I was thinking, like, why aren't they doing that? If you watch sitcoms at home, they always add in the effects of, like, people cheering and laughing.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't they do this for a so-called live show that cannot necessarily have the live effect automatically?
I mean, I think they feel like there would be more negative feedback than positive with that. I get, yeah, it'd be cool like to have something at home. You'd react more, but there are also going to be plenty of people at home that are watching, like, where the hell is this sound coming from? There's no one there.
And I guess, like, they can't insert boos and cheers when it comes to heels and baby faces, because then that's picking sides probably. But if they just had, like, a general, I don't know, loud noise cheering, just when people come out even, that could add a little bit.
And this is also the company that we've seen in the past have edited videos to cut out the sound of crowds chanting for someone else. Like, so it's like, I don't need it to be like either here. Like, I think it just needs to be some kind of noise in the background, because the fact that Michael Cole is screaming his head off still, and it's like to me it sounds weird. I'm hearing him like double, like I'm hearing him on the mic, but then hearing him through the ring mics. So it's a weird like echoey thing where it's like, I don't know, something just little. It doesn't have to be a lot, just something in the background to make me feel like this is just a normal show. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys watched AEW this week.
They did it. I loved what they did.
Yeah, I don't get why, like, just kind of, if you're gonna do that, I mean, I think we're supposed to social distance, you know. I think they were a little too close to each other, but
the matches don't exactly exemplify social distance.
I meant the crowd, But I think if you had like a couple, you know, people that work there in the crowd, at least making some noise, it at least gives something to it and just makes it feel more normal. This just is it makes it too weird to me.
Yeah.
And they can give us "This is awesome" chants for every single match.
Exactly.
They should give something like "This is not awesome" to Gronk's entrance music, because that was the worst entrance music I've ever heard in my life. So bad.
He owned it though.
I heard Will Ospreay's music that he came out to. I saw something online.
Well,
I don't know who it was, but
they inserted different music things for him to come out to, because before I actually watched SmackDown, I saw Jeff Jarrett tweet out like the song "Never Dies," and it was the clip of Gronk coming out to "With My Baby Tonight," and I was just like, if he actually came out to that song, I will go crazy. And then I watched it, and I'm just like, oh no, someone just dubbed it in.
yeah.
I got really excited because I wanted that song to be back on a regular basis. Tag team action to start the show. Insert Teddy Long's music here. Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak versus Cesaro and Nakamura. Sami Zayn is on commentary. On paper, you're looking at this match, the four arguably best wrestlers on SmackDown all in one match. Like, yes, please. But it's amazing. We're talking about the audience sounds, how much an audience brings to a wrestling match. Because again, you have like the four best wrestlers on the roster, arguably, and it's kind of difficult to pay full attention to it because you're not being as drawn to it because there's no reactions.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's tough for these guys, imagine someone who's not nearly on par with the wrestling ability.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be a long 2 nights, but
match ends with Gulak tagged down Bryan, and he held on to Cesaro's arm for Bryan to jump off the top rope into a sunset flip to get the win, and then Gulak and Bryan are backstage afterwards to breathe deep, stretch deep. Breathe deep, stretch deep. The artist collective approached them again. And based on the promos going, I was thinking what we were talking about last week. I'm like, oh, this is going to result in Gulak getting a title shot. But then it turned into, all right, well, if Gulak can beat Nakamura next week, then Sami Zayn will defend the Intercontinental Championship against Daniel Bryan.
but to me it was confusing. I thought he was wanting a triple threat match. Daniel Bryan. It seemed like he was like, why don't you defend the belt against me and him? Is what I thought. So then it seemed like if Drew Gulak can beat Nakamura, then Sami will defend it against both of them.
I would rather see that. That's not what I gathered from it.
Now I'm confused.
Did you gather something different?
Now I'm confused by all of you guys. I want to confirm this.
Go ahead.
I think I
I
was
can
confused too because
find
my
it.
note says Drew versus Sammy. I thought it was Drew versus Sammy. I think I was just looking at my phone.
Yeah, to me, it was just like, okay, Bryan talking about Sammy, but Sammy is saying, oh no, if you're so confident, why don't you have Drew earn you the shot, which is how I gathered it. Now I could be wrong apparently. And then he said, if you could beat Nakamura, then Bryan gets a shot. That's how I interpreted it. I'd rather Gulak be involved in it. But you know WWE over the next week they're probably going to change it.
I think it would be Zayn versus Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. That's what it would be.
Okay.
Right. Which is what we were saying with it, but we'd rather have Gulak in there.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it will ultimately. I feel like they have to include Gulak. They're giving him such a push right now.
Yeah.
It would only make sense for even if, let's say, Sammy had this match, it could either be the start to Drew and Sammy splitting. Sammy could get it, and then Drew goes for it. That could be another way that Drew gets more in the
Drew and
picture.
Bryan, you mean splitting?
So, like, let's say WrestleMania match is Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, right? Let's say Sami Zayn has this Intercontinental Championship, then and gets it. Drew Gulak then could turn on Sami Zayn and go for that Intercontinental Championship.
What do you mean turn on Sami Zayn? Drew Gulak and Sami Zayn are not on the same
Oh yeah,
side.
he's with Daniel Bryan. Sorry.
We're all confused.
It's still going to
My point is
There's
that
so many layers.
Gulak will then have an opportunity to go against Sami Zayn at a not WrestleMania show.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like one of the upcoming Raws or SmackDowns. Well, SmackDown's not Raw, but
Absolutely.
SmackDown. Let's just cut this part out. How about that? Let's start over. You can do that.
Do you think it's weird that Daniel Bryan beat Cesaro 2 weeks in a row with roll-ups?
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, Cesaro has been squashed for a while. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, not squashed, but like getting easily beat, and then now he is being, I guess, like rolled up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just
Great.
thought like that's how. All right, last week was like it was a small package out of nowhere. Okay, that's like Daniel Bryan's specialty,
Yes, it is.
so that makes sense. This was like, even like how Gulak helped him. Like it wasn't even like he like helped him hold his arms down or anything. Like he just kind of grabbed his arm and he was able to pin him. I don't know. I also think they're trying to just kind of play it safe of like, let's just get through these matches. We don't want anybody to get hurt. Like we just want to, put on a decent match and get it over with, kind of.
Yeah.
So, like,
Drew Gulak's suplexes look amazing, by the way. Like Suplex City is closed. Brock Lesnar could never. They look really good.
yeah.
From here, then we get Paige. She was supposed to be on last week, but obviously travel issues prevented that. So now we see her via Skype, and she's talking for a moment. Bayley and Sasha come out like almost immediately. But before we get into the promo, I gotta hit this.
Oh no! Thought it went out of business.
I'm just stopping it right there because it gets interrupted with things. But Sasha's outfit. So this type of outfit, this like tiger print onesie that she's wearing. To me, this perfectly personifies like if you're in like the late 80s, early 90s, and you're going to like a jazzercise or aerobics class, and you're attracted to the instructor. You want like a sexy, more revealing workout outfit, and this is what you would wear to get that guy's attention. I mean, it got mine, so I guess it worked.
Got everyone.
It was hot. It was hot.
I liked it. She was serving.
It was like one long leg, the other was like
Yeah.
It was
making a fashion statement in so many different ways with the zebra or whatever animal print it was, and then also the belt detailing.
Yes.
Sexy. Yep.
Yeah. Like it was such a unique because like Bayley's there in her t-shirt and jeans, and that it's like what the like the contrast is amazing to me. But no, she looked amazing and definitely stood out in this segment to say the least. So with that, they come out and Paige announces she gets to announce Bayley's match at WrestleMania. Bayley's like, who cares? I beat everybody. Whatever. It doesn't matter. And Paige says, oh, you're going to face Lacey Evans. Oh, I already beat her. That's fine. And Dana Brooke. Okay, I mean, it's two of them, but Dana Brooke's really easy. That's fine. What are you going to do? Throw Tamina in there also? Oh, she is still here. Yeah, we'll put Tamina in. Who has not appeared since the Royal Rumble, where she got eliminated in a minute.
That's the title shot. Come on.
Yeah.
Hearing
Mania. and then we add Naomi, and then we add Sasha Banks, where Sasha then has this moment of, oh, wait, we're best friends, but I'm supposed to be wanting to win that championship. And now I can. So here's my question. Why is Carmella, Mandy, and Sonya nowhere to be found for this match?
Yeah.
Carmella was snubbed.
Yeah, it's weird. I saw people were going online on Twitter afterwards, like being like, "Where's Carmella? Like, what? You're gonna throw Tamina in that match, but not Carmella?"
Like Alexa and Nikki, okay, they're going to be in a tag title match.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Mandy Rose, she's going to be involved with Otis and Ziggler. Okay, she might not need to be in that match. You still have Sonya. You still have Carmella. Like, what the hell?
But
Yeah.
I think it may be a thing of getting the person there. Like Grant, like it doesn't seem weird that Corey Graves hasn't been on SmackDown the last 2 weeks. Why isn't he there?
Sure. And they live together, I think, in Connecticut. So that's probably what it is.
So I'm sure they could do a private jet to get her down there too. But
Yeah.
I do think it's weird that we haven't heard from either of them in the last couple weeks. Too.
Yeah.
She has been putting out some snarky tweets too, so maybe they're upset with her. Like whenever they have like segments, she's like, "Oh, I guess I wasn't involved," or "I'm back here in catering." So maybe they're like, "Oh, okay, girl, keep complaining and you'll get what you want."
Well, it's a total Divas storyline.
Probably it is. We'll see next year, 2021.
Yeah, you would not be surprised with that.
And it's funny that they're both doing it together, right? They're both in this together. They're also featured on Total Divas. They were featured last season, so could be.
I just think it's real weird that Corey Graves hasn't been there. I feel like we live in an age where literally we are Skyping right now, all of us, 4 people. Why is he not just getting a live feed from where he is and doing like an ISDN line in even if they do something, they could do something funny where like they put a computer on him and then put like an iPad like on a chair and be like, "Oh, well, Corey's here, but he's here via satellite." Like,
I think they're in-person wise, to address the in-person situation, they're social distancing. So I think they don't want too many commentators obviously over there, and they barely have people helping out on set. Also, I think that to Skype a commentator in or just a video feed, it could be distracting. I think it would make sense to have both of them then Skype in, not just one person be sitting at the table and one person coming in on a computer screen. Maybe they both have little like little boxes on the screen and they're both Skyping in. That might make the most sense.
yeah,
But
I think it's like,
how are they going to watch it and do that? They'd have to script the whole thing.
yeah, but they don't know what's happening
They
anyway.
wouldn't be able to Skype watch the live match. But you know what I'm saying? Like how they're going to get a live feed now through Skype and be able to Skype. I don't know.
I'm saying they have like a live feed that I remember there was a thing that Triple H did where he was in his office. This is like something they were doing, like a follow him around. And in his office, he has a live feed somewhere of the Performance Center that he can look at 24/7.
Yes,
it's a live
and
feed.
pull in whenever. Yeah.
Yes. So like I'm just saying something like that where like they have a $1 billion company. They could find a way to get Corey Graves to be on the show if they really wanted to.
Yeah. And
I'm just saying, even if they put him, say they put Cole at the SmackDown table and put Corey Graves at the Raw table on the ramp, at least they're like in the same, somewhere.
That's so distracting, though. Don't you think there's too much going on with the match in the ring at the same time?
That we don't see them. We're just listening to them. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now, one thing, though, I do want to bring back up as far as with the 6 competitors in this match, if we're having trouble, so like if Carmella isn't traveling or things like that, well, a lot of people around the Performance Center, why don't we have an NXT person get inserted in this match then?
Yeah.
Where, you have the story of, well, Bayley, you've never faced me.
Yes.
Bianca Belair.
Yeah.
Bianca. Chris. Mia Yim. I mean, any one of them would work in this stuff. It doesn't mean they're up on that roster full time. One off at Mania. They're in the match. Have a shot. Bayley can brag more if she wins. Someone else wins. Whatever happens. And then they decide they want to keep that person SmackDown, to Raw, keep them NXT, whatever. But with the circumstances, you're keeping Sonya off it if Carmella's not traveling. And I'm not trying to knock down Tamina because the thing is she's always injured and she is on the older side. If she hasn't appeared since the Rumble, which was her first time appearing in 6 months, where she was only in there for a minute, it makes no sense that she's suddenly in a title match.
Yeah. And also Bianca, that would make sense for someone like Bianca who dominated the Rumble and nothing came of it. Like she just lost all her matches after that. So it's like give her something that'll show why she was so dominated or like justify that, you know?
Yeah, and with her, it will be a matter of she'll end up on Raw eventually since her husband's on Raw. But for the circumstances, do a one-off and have her in that title match.
Yeah, I agree. I really thought Paige was gonna say like, "Oh, you know, you've been talking all this smack, but guess what? I got a new client, and this is your client. This is, and I've talked to management, and this is who you're gonna be going against at WrestleMania." And I really did think someone like from NXT or something was gonna come out because they're just where they are. But
also, Tamina responded on Twitter and she said, "Oh, and Bailey, I heard what you said. Yes, I still work here, dummy. At WrestleMania, title or no title, I'm just looking forward to hurting someone. Hashtag that someone is you."
Interesting. I think you're gonna say,
"All right, girl."
I don't want this to sound mean or anything. I just hope she doesn't hurt herself because she's injured a lot.
Don't come for her knees.
I mean, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean, but you know.
I just think it doesn't really make sense when you really think overall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe
they are so mad at Carmella that they're just like, you know what, girl, you keep tweeting all those tweets. Let's just put in Tamina, even though she hasn't been here for 3 months.
Yeah, smack in the face.
That might be it.
Yeah, seriously.
But they also live in Florida, so it may be. Like I said, I think it's a more of a location thing for some people. Of we know these people can be there.
Right. They replay John Cena versus Bray Wyatt from WrestleMania 30. We don't have to go over that. I'm really surprised they actually showed this match since they announced that they're replaying this entire WrestleMania. Actually today, they filming this on ESPN. And they promoted that on Fox, which is also weird, but they show that match inside, so whatever, is what it is. Then we have a little promo with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. Bryan, I'm passing this to you. It's far more of a breakdown than any of us.
So I love that so much. And she is just, we all know that she's amazing on the mic. And it was like, the writing wasn't even the best, but just her delivery. Like she was like Asuka's neck. She was coming for Asuka's neck and Kairi Sane's neck. And I'm ready for her to be a 2-time women's tag team champion. And she needs to redeem herself from her 2 losses at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, she's always a mouthpiece and she's great at what she does. I think she needs to get the championship at this point. I'm over Bailey. I don't know.
Same.
I'm over her. Sorry, Bailey. I'm glad that she turned heel. It made it more interesting. But at the end of the day.
Yes, Alexa is singles championship worthy, of course, but I just want her to be tag team championship because she needs something because she is the best on that roster.
I agree. She definitely does need something. Like I think I said a few weeks ago, I think Alexa and Nikki, I'm fans of both of them as singles competitors. I'm not crazy about them as a tag team. I feel like that's played out. But I would be down for whatever happens post-Mania. It results in a Bailey-Alexa feud. I'd be down for that. Absolutely.
For now, though, Nikki needs Alexa, in my opinion. She needs a strong mouthpiece. And I just don't see Nikki on her own, to be honest. I don't know what you guys think about Nikki's character, but I think she needs somebody who's like 10 times bigger and better than her in order to make her character shine.
I disagree because I think if you watch Nikki in NXT, crazy Nikki, psycho Nikki is easily. I don't like this Nikki that we have now.
No.
To me it's just like it seems very, very fake to her, and I think in the end I think she ends up turning on Alexa to keep Alexa face. But I also think with this match, like, why are we not putting Mandy? that's their dating name, Sandy.
Yes, I'm shipping them.
Thinking of Grace too.
Why are they not in this match and I'm making it a triple threat?
Well,
I don't know either.
Well, they're not involved in the singles titles match. So
Exactly. Like maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll find maybe something happen on next week of like them getting involved.
Yeah. Is there any? Oh, well, I see. I forgot about them because they're never there. But I was gonna say, is there even any women's tag teams on Raw? But I forgot about the Iconics.
Yes.
Yeah, who have been, MIA for months.
Missing in my life badly.
Are they in Australia right now? Those girls?
I think Paige was for a little bit, but
yeah, I know they were for a while with all the fires and everything trying to help, but I think they came back.
They live in Orlando, don't they?
Yeah, I think outside of Australia, they're in Orlando, but
around there, at least one of them, if not both. Dirt Sheet. This was the best part of the show this week. Miz and Morrison, we should ask the audience who we should face. All of a sudden, we hear what at first sounded like Big E, and then it cuts to Miz and Morrison in the crowd as New Day fans, with Morrison as an inflatable freaking unicorn. Then it gets cut to Miz and Morrison dressing up as the Usos, trying to act gangster-like. Then it gets cut to them as in bacon costumes, be heavy machinery, because they don't have any ham costumes. They're like the actual conversations that they all had with each other was thoroughly entertaining. I loved this very much.
I don't know. I think I might have to disagree. I liked it, but I don't like their persona right now. Like even the hey hey ho ho chant. Like I want to know if they're being so ostentatious and farcy, seriously, or if they're doing it to be that so far crazy, But I think they're just so great, and I want them to kind of be that serious heel, super strong heels that just beat everybody. But now they're just making fun of everybody, which is the New Day's gimmick. So that's why I'm here for it, but not really.
I actually love it, to be honest. I really like Morrison and Miz paired together, and I like that they're comedic. I like that they have fun with it. They're obviously not as silly as the New Day, but they try to make fun of the Hollywoodness in them and then everybody else's character. And I think right now, in times that are so serious, we need the comic relief. So I think it's necessary to always have Miz and Morrison on an episode of SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was by far the best thing of the night, and I think it was probably the best thing that's been on Raw or SmackDown since they've been doing these no audience shows, because they could have never have done this on a real show.
No,
you know what I mean? They could never have been in the crowd doing this. It would have been something they showed on the screen, but I think it made it way more unique and just made it way more over the top for what they were trying to do to make fun of all the teams. And I thought they did a really good job of making fun of all of them. It was really funny, and the way they would finish the other person's catchphrases as they were talking back and forth, I thought was super clever. Whoever wrote this segment, good job to them. It was good. It was awesome.
Don't you
for the match? Out of all the other matches at WrestleMania, this is probably a match I'm maybe most excited about now.
Don't you guys agree, though, that because their comedy is so corny, that it's even better with no audience because it makes it cornier?
Yes.
In my opinion, it's corny comedy, but then there's no audience and they're making it even more extreme and nobody's there to really laugh. So it just makes it even worse, but it's better at the same time.
Yeah. Because the crowd would be booing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The crowd
but now it's that emptiness makes it even funnier, I think. I don't know.
No, I agree.
You're right.
I agree. This leads into Miz and Morrison versus Heavy Machinery. And before we even break down the match, I got another one. You love so.
Not Rico.
Oh no, it's all Rico all the time. It's fashion. And these new Heavy Machinery t-shirts may be one of the worst t-shirts they have ever made.
I have to look at it again now.
So
I didn't get a good enough look at it.
I've never been a fan of t-shirts where they have someone's face on them. Like sayings are fine, names are fine, but like the actual face on it to me throws it off. This one has both of them. Tucker hanging in the background, like tongue hanging out like he's a dog. Otis eating a giant thing of ham with the Heavy Machinery logo on it, and it then says ham and slam. Who in their mind is going to walk around in like, you know what? I take it back. This is the perfect quarantine shirt because nobody's in public. This is hideous. Like, look it up if you haven't seen it.
Wow, yeah, that's
This shirt is so bad.
80s. It looks like straight out of the 80s WWE shirt. Like, it looks like a tag team straight out of the 80s. Wow. And their tag team name is Ham and Slam, though, not Heavy Machinery. If I go, oh, it's Ham and Slam
at this point.
Yeah. Who's Ham and Slam?
Tucker does ham, Otis eats the ham. I mean, that's fine.
I think you just made it up a new catchphrase.
I didn't make it up. They already have it on a shirt. So
no, what you just said there. Tucker does the slam and Otis eats the ham.
I don't know if y'all can see that.
It's actually pretty awesome.
Awesome as in bad or awesome as in
I love it. I would wear it.
I like that it's a drawing and not an actual picture, though.
Yeah, and I like how there's like a square around it that's clearly they didn't draw inside the lines as well.
They just threw a bunch of things on Photoshop up in there.
Yeah. Oh, so much with it. During the actual match, Ziggler shows up, gets on the mic, tells Otis, "I know you're smitten with my kitten."
That one was that. That was it.
He then, and you know this, we're in TV PG era and not in the Attitude Era because like I think there are these photos you need to see, and they were from Dolph's Instagram that they took some photos of him and Mandy smiling and holding hands and stuff. Like this was like 15 years ago. Would have been in lingerie. This would have been so like racy and just like very inappropriate.
Like what Rob Van Dam is doing today on Impact.
Exactly. But this is this is just nice. It's a guy and a girl who like each other and they're courting one another, holding hands, having fun. You know, there's nothing wrong about it. And Otis snaps like a madman. Like to be fair, of everything that's happened these last several weeks with Ziggler and Otis and Mandy, this was the least tame or the most tame thing of all. And this is what makes him go off. He's like, they're happy together. No. And he just snaps. Why the ref didn't count everyone out, I have no idea, because they're out of the ring for a long time.
And Tucker was down forever, too.
Yeah. And Otis just destroys Miz and Morrison by himself. He's tag champs by himself, throws him through the barricade, grabs a chair. Tucker tries to plead with him to calm down. Otis attacks both of them with the chair, gets a DQ. Tucker's upset because a win there could have put them in a title match at Mania. Now they lost the match. And there was no Rude. So to me, it's looking like it's just going to be Otis and Ziggler one-on-one at Mania.
With Mandy in a shark cage, like we talked about.
Mandy in a shark cage.
Mandy quarantined at home.
She's going to be suspended in an iPad.
Winner gets quarantined with Mandy Rose.
That would be amazing.
I would scream. That would be so funny.
I mean, I have so many questions on how this match ended. I mean, first off, why did we make the tag team champions look horribly weak and just both got decimated by one guy? Mm-hmm. Two, why was Tucker upset but hugging Otis instead of being legit upset?
Well, was Otis crying at the end?
I wouldn't put it past him.
Did it not look like he was like crying into his chat, like crying into him as he was like holding him?
Tucker
didn't it make no sense as they kept showing Ziggler standing on the stage?
Yeah, why didn't Otis go after Ziggler again?
But why was Tucker like pointing at him like you're done? Like, you know what I mean? Like he wasn't even like mad at Ziggler. He was mad at Otis.
Yeah. I want how much I want to be behind this story.
Yeah, I think what set off Otis, at least what they would kind of explain was like it wasn't so much the pictures. I think it was what Ziggler was saying of like, oh
Yeah.
nice guys finished last, blah blah blah. But I wish Ziggler needs to be more mean though. He's not mean enough to him. Like Ziggler needs to be like, you're a loser, Tucker. You're a loser, and she will never, ever, ever be into you. Ever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's gotta be a real dick.
I think he already was. He was already so mean.
But he's got to be.
Even Michael Cole said it. Michael Cole was like,
great for
that's
me.
the hottest woman that Otis will ever be with. And I was like, geez, thanks a lot, Michael Cole. Don't give him any credit.
But he's got to be way more mean than a bunch of the pictures like this. Like
Here's the thing.
we need a video of Mandy being like, oh, I never, I can't believe he would think I would like him. You know what I mean? I think we need, if we're gonna go with it, just go full bore.
I would love if they brought another female superstar into the storyline that now likes Otis, and then Mandy could get jealous.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
And it creates like this dynamic. What's Mandy gonna do?
Might as well throw Tamina in.
Make it Tamina so it makes sense.
If she's been in a title match now, might as well give her a story.
Oh my
Could you imagine?
Actually, you know who would have been good for this? Liv, even though she's not really on our roster, because she looks so much like Mandy and Carmella, like they all kind of are, that it would be cool to get someone who looks similar to Mandy to play this like other role with Otis to get Mandy jealous and to get her back.
But that would be the exact same storyline Ziggler was in with Lana, and Summer Rae.
Yeah, it could be similar, but either way, like I just or get Carmella involved and then Corey Graves gets upset. Like
There's
that
so
could
many
be
layers.
He loves
He's
Mandy.
on commentary usually. So.
All right, and then from there we have the contract signing with Goldberg and Roman Reigns. Not a whole lot happened with this.
What do you mean? They talked so much. It was so long. I think it was like 30 minutes long.
Well, I found out like the week that the British Bulldog gets announced to be in the Hall of Fame is the first time Goldberg is ever called a bulldog, and he's called a bitch bulldog. And it's just like
That word?
yeah.
It is now.
And like the whole zing in these promos was Goldberg slams his head into doors.
Yeah.
That was all that was brought up.
But also, if you're trying to put across how strong Goldberg is, I think I would have had him sign that contract. And instead of him flipping the table, he should have just put his hands through that table and just destroyed it and smashed it. Like if he's supposed to be like breaking things like with his head, he should have headbutted the table at least or something.
Actually, if he picked up the desk and headbutted it and the desk broke.
Yeah, like wouldn't it be? I mean, I also think like if he was just like, you know who's next? You're next, and he just grabbed the table and just headbutted his head through it, and he's sticking his head through like Jack Nicholson in The Shining, like you're next, screaming his head through.
That is crazy.
Has Goldberg? We know he's known for slamming his head into the doors and being dumb about that. But has he ever used a headbutt in an actual match?
I
don't think so.
Why are we bringing it up?
He has less moves than John Cena and Brock Lesnar combined.
Yeah, I think they needed to have some kind of thread to bring this together of like why this match is happening, because it literally happened out of nowhere.
Fear versus fear.
But like I think they needed to like, so it's like, oh, he just happened to tweet this out 2 months ago, so let's use this as a talking trash point in this promo.
Yeah, it was so random. I was like, Michael Cole, what kind of pot are you stirring? I mean, I'm here for whatever soup you're making, but he was literally just grabbed that random tweet out of nowhere, and he was like, look what he said, Goldberg.
I felt like I was watching Total Divas.
Right? Seriously. Total
Dramatic.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's how SmackDown ends with the desk getting thrown and two of them just staring eye to eye with Michael Cole cowering in the corner as the show wraps up.
But it wasn't even anything good said
There
in the
was
promo.
nothing.
There was nothing in this promo got me excited for this match. I was not excited
We're
before.
getting paid to do that.
How much?
Yeah, to throw a chair and flip a desk.
A lot, probably. I mean,
He probably got hazard pay too for being there, so he probably charged
Yeah.
extra.
yeah.
That's what I was actually wondering too this whole time. Like, are these guys making extra money being that they're filming during these circumstances? And who knows who had to travel in for this stuff? Like, are they using all locals? Did they fly anybody in? What's going on here?
And that's actually, you bring up a good point, because one of the things that I'm thinking of with Mania, I know we're going to get into more details in a moment of Wrestling Wrap, but with more details on it, well, these wrestlers normally get a big bonus if they're on the WrestleMania card because of all the money WWE makes from it.
Yeah.
Are they still getting a bonus?
Way. I mean, I think
It would be all up.
probably something. But my thing is, you have Roman Reigns, who literally last year we didn't even know if he was going to wrestle again because his cancer came back.
Yep.
So he already has like his immune system is already like compromised.
Right.
I'm almost shocked that they are actually letting him do this. That to me, a guy that you're banking your future on after this, to let him be around other people and do this, I think me personally, I think it's a dumb idea.
You know what I would hope?
They could have done something, and I think sorry, Gabby.
Oh no, my bad. I was interrupting.
If that was my wife that was wrestling and I knew this was, I'd be like, do you really need to wrestle on this show? Do you really need to go to do these shows? Like, why can't you do this via satellite like everyone else does? And then maybe go to WrestleMania and have the match. Maybe. But I just think it's a weird thing to put out there to everyone.
Yeah. I would hope also maybe testing everybody before they put them,
Yeah.
camera to do these matches, because they're having physical contact, and as we all know, you may have no symptoms but also be carrying them. So the people that are compromised, like Roman Reigns, probably shouldn't be doing anything like this in general, to your point, Tom. So I would hope that WWE has like medical in place that they're actually testing prior to. And Florida is under the same restrictions right now as California, with the only essentials being open, but people are still going out. People are still going to the grocery store. People are still doing things outside, and you don't even show symptoms for 14 days. So it is very tricky, and a lot of athletes obviously have come down with this.
Yeah.
I mean, and to kind of bring up another thing, like we've seen, I don't know if you guys seen the news, it seems like every NBA player is like getting tested. I mean, granted, one of them, somebody in the NBA tested positive.
Now, yeah.
Now there's a bunch now. There's a bunch of them that tested positive.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be
probably afterwards.
I wouldn't be surprised if they all get tested, but also that comes down to the whole point of everyone getting very upset about these NBA players getting tested because, like, just because you're rich, you can get tested. Like, there's other people that are actually sick or having symptoms that need to get tested, and now we're like wasting tests on these guys that just need to show up to do this, where like we don't really need to have WrestleMania. We can put it on hold. It's not, they're gonna get, WWE's gonna get their insurance money back for this. They already are, because it already got canceled by the city.
Right.
So they're not really losing their money on this.
And to go back to Josh's point about the bonus structure, I would hope, I don't think we'll ever know this for a while until it comes out in a podcast later on down the line, but I would hope that they would keep those same structures in place, because they've made so much money. And on top of that, like the Saudi Arabia deal makes them so much money.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well,
I'm sure that they can pull from somewhere to compensate their talent, even in these hard times.
Well, because also remember, they have a men's and women's battle royals at WrestleMania. Those obviously are not happening this year based with the reasoning. So there's a lot of men and women that would have gotten some type of bonus for being on WrestleMania that would not, because they're not on the show.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, let's get in the wrestling wrap. We're done. It's good for this anyway, so let's just dive right into it.
All right. So, wrestling wrap for this week. We all know that WrestleMania has been decided upon to create a 2-night event. So, we did specify, but we'll talk about it again Saturday, April 4th and Sunday, April 5th. But the interesting fact to this is that they're going to be taping WrestleMania prior to those dates. So, that will be happening this week at the Performance Center. They're scheduled to also shoot their next 2 weeks of SmackDown on Saturday, which I believe that just passed because today's Sunday. So I think that yesterday they might have taped it, or they're going to be doing it next Saturday. And then Sunday as well. And they're going to be also working on taping Raws for the next 2 Mondays in advance. So do you think this is a good idea, as we don't really know where the COVID-19 pandemic situation is going to lead us in the next few weeks? They do tape this all prior so that they could keep their storylines intact prior to WrestleMania and leading up to WrestleMania?
Absolutely. I think the smartest thing for them to do this way, they get it out of the way, have the footage ready. Everyone can stay home and quarantine themselves for the next few weeks. Do WrestleMania. If necessary, then those next few days after, tape a couple more, go home again. So they're interacting as little as possible, and we're still having the stories go through. And a side note, why is WWE yet to mention COVID-19 or coronavirus on television? Do we know?
Triple H did when they did SmackDown, actually, last week. He did multiple times. It just wasn't this week.
They've been emphasizing, like, with everything that's going on in the world, or all this is just like, why is it not just being mentioned?
I think they're just like light, I guess. I think it's like they want to be an escape, like, from what's happening. So let's not bring, if people, watching the news all day, seeing all the, crap that's happening. I don't need to be reminded. Like, I feel like the no audience alone, it's a reminder every time I watch. So
Sure.
That's like, I think it's good enough. I just think let's not bring people down even more.
But Tom, then what do you think? What Gabby was asking as far as taping multiple episodes at once?
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they haven't done it already. Like, I'm surprised they haven't done this they didn't do this last week. Like, I get the idea they want like a live show on Monday and Friday, but with everything ramping up, I mean, I want to throw this question out to you guys. Granted, it's Sunday now. Do you think they'll tape on Wednesday, Thursday, or do you? I guess they probably won't get shut down, but I was thinking that, either the state or something would go into like everything's got to be closed, everyone's got to stay home, kind of thing. So I think it's smart for them to do it. I think that I'm surprised they didn't do it last week. Get it over with. Just be done with this, and let's move on into the future. Will we even get a Raw after Mania? No, I'm guessing not. I think if anything, that's just going to be a recap show of what happened.
To be honest, you guys, Florida enacted the non-essential, only essential businesses being open, right? So WWE, they considered essential or non-essential, because they're breaking the law technically, correct?
Yeah.
Right. That's what's happening.
I think if anything, I'm sure the state will kind of, in the end, we're turning a little blind eye to this, because in the end, you are giving people an entertainment of something to distract them from what is happening in the world.
Well, and also happen in their state, so this is their home base.
Yeah, I just think if they're complying by the rules of, like, if it's, I don't know what it is in Florida, if it's like 10 people or less gathering, like, if there are at least people keeping distances, then I mean, they're not really breaking the law, I guess.
Technically, they are, because they're not an essential business.
Oh,
if you look at it's grocery stores, restaurants. Like, this is a restaurant.
Abby,
this is a training facility.
Vince McMahon is above the law. We all
COVID is not taking over WrestleMania.
I'm okay with you guys staying open, though. I'm not hating on you, but that is what's happening. We all could call it.
I think the problem is that we, like you were saying, you don't know if you have it. You don't know. So it's like we're traveling these people in from different areas of the country to interact with each other, closely interact with each other, people that are wrestling each other.
Oh, in the film wrestle. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Goldberg and Roman's promo that was like, cut the mic, Vince, because this is uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's smart of them to let's just get it under our belts, get it over with, and I mean, this will be a WrestleMania we'll never forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to wrap that last story up, they're not proceeding with doing Hall of Fame or any of the extras leading up to WrestleMania, which I think was a smart decision. I don't think they're this year without the properly executing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like for the Bella twins, I read this online that it made so much sense. It's like they're going to the Hall of Fame and I would love to see them in the Hall of Fame right now, but they're two pregnant women. They shouldn't be flying anywhere, first of all. They shouldn't be interacting with people. So
That makes me surprised that Daniel Bryan is like even doing anything.
right.
I'm really surprised he is actually interacting and being on TV.
He might not have had a choice.
I think they all get a choice. This is what
they're like, we're paying you, and you need this check. So
I think Daniel and Brie are doing okay right now. I don't think he desperately needed that check right now.
yeah, but Daniel Bryan is one of the biggest superstars in WWE, and if you piss off your boss and you don't make the money you need to make, then a lot can go downhill. Like all the money they make is because of WWE, whether it's Total Bellas,
I know.
or Daniel Bryan performing on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
It's all coming from the same employer. Anyways, my next story is that SmackDown's ratings remain steady second week in a row from the Performance Center. It was down about 1% from the previous week that we talked about, but it's still doing well. It had 2.63 million viewers despite everything going on. So again, I think we could attribute that to the fact that everyone's at home and has all this free time, most likely. And then going into my next show, we kind of talked about Total Bellas a few seconds ago, but E is actually moving up the premiere date of Total Bellas, and the season 5 will air on Thursday, April 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern time now. And Nikki Bella pretty much said on Instagram, okay, Bella Army, a lot of you have been asking through social, if Total Bellas can premiere earlier. And E Entertainment heard you and worked their magic, and Total Bellas will premiere a week earlier on Thursday, April 2nd. So set those alerts, alarms, and DVRs because Bellas are back in less than 2 weeks. Spread the news. So it's going to be an interesting time for television, as a lot of TV will probably be moving up their premiere dates in general because, I mean, their productions are halted. A lot of Hollywood's losing billions of dollars in the process. So might as well push the things out that they're able to get done and are in post, right?
Yeah, it makes
sense.
Especially
Bryan.
Movies are just being released to be streamed right now.
Yeah.
Things that are done in production, get them on right now because your ratings are probably going to be better now than they will be in a few months because everyone's home doing nothing.
Good point. Bryan, are you excited? You're a Bellas fan.
I am. I'm so ready to see what's happening. I can't wait to see the gender reveal that we're going to see at the end of the season, but it's going to be exciting. I love the Bellas, so.
And if you guys need a daily dose of inspiration during these tough times with the coronavirus, please refer to Kevin Owens' Twitter page. He is going to be uploading or just typing out really interesting tweets to help people get uplifted and motivated to live better lives, better to themselves. So here's what he wrote on March 16th. Every day, I'm going to tweet things that make me happy and cheer me up in hopes that it can bring a sense of relief, however small, to other people as well. It might not work, but considering what we're all going through, I figure what's the harm? Can't make things worse, right? So here's the thing. Kevin Owens is trying to do something good. I love that he's using his platform where he has 1.2 million followers. So on you, Kevin, for doing that. All going through this, even though he's a huge superstar, that he also is dealing with the effects of coronavirus as well. So super relatable and human of him, and I hope we can tune into his
Oh, Gabby, we might have lost you. You were freezing for the last 30 seconds of that.
Just saying, did you put out that one?
Yeah, we heard you as far as that like tweet. We started hearing a little bit of what the tweet was, but
Okay.
but you were.
So let me re-go over it.
Dude,
So essentially every day or so, I'm going to tweet things that make me happy and cheer me up in hopes that it can bring a sense of relief, however small, to other people as well. It might not work, but considering we're all going through what we're all going through, I figure what's the harm? Can't make things worse. So what I was saying was, if you can tune into his daily Twitter and tweets, please do so. And I love the fact that even though he's a superstar with 1.2 million followers, he's relatable because he's saying we're all going through it. And he's addressing the fact that he's not exempt from this situation.
Definitely. And we obviously trying to do what we can, still put on these shows for you guys. I know we don't have a live in it for the people who like to tune in live, but we want to hear from you guys still. We want to keep trying to entertain you. Want obviously everyone to still stay safe. Try to make the best of it. Listen to the shows and podcasts you like. Keep the social distancing. Still exercise. Don't overeat when you're bored. All that fun stuff that I'm trying to do myself as well. And of course, then
Everyone's like, right?
I hope by the time we all reconvene at the AfterBuzz Studios, all of us have six packs.
Yeah.
I think that's a good goal for us.
I think it's going to be opposite, quite the opposite.
Gabby's like,
I have been stress eating.
Oh, everyone.
It's very hard because you're really functioning just like being out at home, and if you can get outside, you get outside, but it's like you can't push yourself maybe as hard as you would when you're around other people or in a gym with equipment.
Well, we are all going to push each other, and we want to push all of our fans and listeners, and you guys can push us back as well by talking to us on various forms of social media. Brian, how can people reach out to you?
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at the Bryant Santos. I'm also on the Katie Keene and Motherland Fort Salem After Show. And starting this week, I'll be joining Women's Wrestling Weekly. And please tune into that because we might be having a special guest from the SmackDown roster.
Hey now. Gabby.
You guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Gabby Loren TV. And definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel where I'll be uploading longer wrestling raps and other really cool content. So again, that's going to be youtube.com/my first and middle name, which is Gabrielle Loren. And follow me over there.
And Tom.
you can find me Twitter, Instagram, Tom.com. Check out my Etsy store, Connolly Central. I hear crying babies in the background. So.
Not you? I thought that might have been you crying.
Oh, no.
And follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Tariff. Please subscribe to my YouTube page. I'm in the process of trying to get that built more and more. This video will also be on there. And also Cameo, if you guys want me to give you a little motivating, or if you're discussing a wrestling topic, want someone to settle a debate, that's the way to do it. Find me on Cameo. Gabby's on Cameo as well. You can get her on there. And Christian Rosenberg for Wrestling Tees, WrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. If you have the time, buy a shirt, support. And for all your other AfterBuzz TV news, follow them on Twitter at AfterBuzz TV. Thanks so much for tuning in. Tom Connolly had to help the babies, so he's not in pictured anymore. But for Tom Connolly, Brian Santos, and Gabby Loren, I'm Josh Tariff, and we will see you next time.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.